Welcome to Retirement Talk, the show that gives you wealth strategies that actually work. I'm Dan Benson here with John Maxon, and today we're going to talk about 6 things that you need to do immediately if your identity gets stolen. And we've talked about this on some other shows about some identity theft. The reality is, if it happens to you, it's devastating. And the fact that your information, your personal information is out there that you can never get back is just something that's really, really hard to get over. I mean, a lot of people, it's vulnerability, and it's tough to work through. And so, unfortunately, we hope that it doesn't ever happen to you. But if it does, then there are some things you absolutely have to do to prevent more devastation from happening. We've got a guy that we work with that had his identity stolen, and there were people trying to open up account after account after account, and he would go in and he would close it, and eventually he had to start taking these steps that we're about to go over, and now he's protected himself. He hasn't had any kind of issues going through. But once it happens, these guys are fast. They take your information, they know how to get it distributed out there, they're selling it. And so if you get even an inclination that your identity was stolen, you need to make sure that these steps are taken. Number 1, first thing you need to do is report the information to your banks.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a huge issue. If you think back, even 10 years ago, identity theft was not even that big of an issue. And now it's through email or, just about anything you can think of. There's ways people are stealing your identity by if you slide your credit card into a machine, or the phone calls. This last year, one of the big ones that was out there that you were hearing about was people claiming to be the IRS and then calling you and trying to actually negotiate something to keep you from going to jail, which incidentally, the IRS does not call you directly. Right. Yeah. So if you get that phone call, you can do what me and my boys do. We actually call them back. I had one call me. I called him 8 times, and he finally got frustrated and wouldn't answer his phone call. We do the same thing with telemarketers, by the way. We actually try to sell them something back, and pretty soon they stop calling you. Yeah. So there are some defensive things you can do there too. But reporting it to your bank is huge because, in all seriousness, years ago, we had somebody who stole our identity at our local bank, and they took about $30,000 of a credit or of a savings account. And my wife came by our office and said that our mortgage check had bounced, and there was like $200 left in an account that had $30,000. And we were fortunate to work with our bank, and they have a fraud department, and we were able to actually get that money back over time. But that's how quickly it can happen. You can wake up one day, answer an email or a phone call, and before you know it, thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars can be gone.
Yeah, another one, contact the Federal Trade Commission, and these guys will actually use the information to give to the FBI to track down the perpetrators or the thieves that are out there. And they'll give you a recovery plan with some pre-filled documents to send out to important companies. And so the FTC can actually be a great resource for you as well. And then you also want to report the incident to your local police department. Mm-hmm. You want the authorities out there knowing that these guys are out there stealing identities. And even though you may seem like there's not a whole lot of work being done, they do keep records, they keep files of certain incidents that happen in certain areas, and they are able to track these people down. And so even though it's happened to you, you want to protect yourself, but you're also able to protect other people by making sure you report this information to the right authority. So the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, because they'll give it to the FBI actually on a federal level, and then your local police department as well, so they can track more locally in your area.
Yeah, and I think another big one is making sure you're contacting at least one of the 3 major credit bureaus. Those bureaus are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And if you alert them to fraud, they can make sure that they can take care of helping to protect your identity and your personal information so people can't go and open up a credit card in your name or things of that nature. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the phone numbers for the 3 major credit bureaus in the show content today, so that'll be there available for you.
Yeah, and then I would go as far as calling your financial advisor if you have one, or if you're not working with an advisor, the brokerage or investment companies where you have your money, to make sure that they're on alert. And there are processes like we have at our financial firm, Beacon Capital Management. We have a process in place that as soon as we're notified from a client, that steps that our office takes to make sure that that person's account is kind of on record, and that we have a process to protect their information to make sure that people aren't stealing money out of their retirement accounts or investment accounts. So that's an important one. Call your financial advisor. And then lastly, monitor your credit report. If you don't have a login at these major credit reporting agencies, you need to have that. In fact, I would go as far as saying you can freeze your credit, meaning that not even you can go and open up a bank account, right? If you have your credit frozen and you go to a bank account and you try to open up an account, they're not going to even allow you, because it's going to show on record that that account has been frozen. In order to use your credit, which you'll likely need to do, all you have to do is call the companies, unfreeze your credit, go in, get your bank account open, credit card, loan, whatever you're trying to do, and then go back and freeze it again. I know a lot of people out there, in fact, friends of mine and clients of ours, that they keep their credit permanently frozen at all times and only unfreeze it when they need it. And so you need to make sure that you're monitoring the credit report. I would even go as far today, if you have kids, monitor your children's credit report. They're going after these young kids and they're using credit, and before they know it, they go to get a school loan or something like that. Next thing you know, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt built up. I monitor my kids' credit. I have them on a credit reporting agency that we use here for our family, but every single month we're checking our kids' credit report as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because again, failing to take these steps can really cost you not only time and money, but I mean the amount of frustration and really discouragement that will come along with that is super important to protect yourself. Well, thanks for watching our show. Be sure to subscribe to our latest episodes at retirementtalk.com.